Brad Holmes has done such a good job since he's been here in Detroit. And I remember when we got Brad Holmes, it was like I kind of doing research on him, right? It was like he's a draft whiz. That's his thing. He's going to draft really well. I remember Sheila talking about how we got to build through the draft. I remember in that moment being like, "Hey, that's it. They get it. Like they're starting to get it." And over time, Brad Holmes, Sheila, Dan, they've really built our trust based on their performance and what they're doing. Well, there's one player in particular that is a star, and nobody anticipated it. And I'm going to show you who that is. And then also at the end of the video, I'm going to show you, look at all the stars on our team. I think we have more stars on our team than we anticipate. Now, how do you define a star and all that? Whatever. We'll look at it. And I want to know from you guys as well who you think's a star on our team, and we're kind of filling up with stars. So the guy that is absolutely a star is going to be Aline McNeil. Remember, we get him in the 3rd round. He's a baseball player. He goes to NC State. Just kind of like kind of putting the pieces together. Like, who is this guy? Because this year especially, remember, that's the one position, like defensive tackle. Would love to have us a little more depth or a little bit more of this. Well, if you've got a star at defensive tackle and Aline McNeil, then I think you're going to be good. So let's take a look at some of the things that Aline McNeil's doing. First of all, you've kind of probably seen the story by now, but he really changed his body. He's kind of a big bowling ball out there. Changed his body to be more lean, cut 13% body fat. I'm a lot more lean, flexible, and I can bend a lot better now. Remember, he had some really good games, like especially against the Giants. Dominated. Man, you get a good defensive tackle, it changes the entire defense. He stayed healthy. He's been a huge part of what we're trying to do. He's strong. So he says, look, but on a podcast with Tim Twentyman, the 3rd-year defensive tackle revealed that he had more specific goal in mind when transforming his body and his living style and what he's eating, improving his pass rush. This is what Brad Holmes, and why I think he's really focused on defensive linemen. We got Levi, he got Aline. It's because that changes the game. You look at Aaron Donald. Of course, that's Brad Holmes's kind of crown jewel, is he gets Aaron Donald, who disrupts for the last 10 years in the middle, where he's able to stop the run and get to the passer. It's a big deal. And so Aline McNeil did that last year. I mean, he was a good player last year. Now all he's done is in his 3rd year is he's gotten stronger. He's gotten more flexible. He's learned the defense. We've got better defensive players. So now the secondary is stickier. So Aline McNeil is just a star that is right in front of us that we didn't even know about before he came to us. He came to us 3rd round, like 70th pick or something like that. He went to NC State because he had an opportunity to play baseball and football. He's an absolute athlete that we're not talking enough about, because we've got new guys, and you talk about our rookies and our 2nd-year guys, and like Aiden Hutchinson, and but he's part of that original draft class that you take an Aline McNeil. You don't really know anything about him. It's like, yeah, this guy's going to be an absolute star, and I can't wait to see him. So if you look at our roster now, if you are like, okay, because what do you need to be successful? You need a quarterback. We have it. And then you need playmakers around it. And you need a couple of those outliers that just really stand out. Then you need depth, and you need a lot of things to be good. But the one thing that I've noticed as you watch the NFL, it's too hard to go up and down the field, or it's too hard to stop people. You need someone to disrupt. And now, instead of being 2nd and 3, it's 3rd and 13 because you got a sack, right? And it just changes everything. And now you're able to get off the field. So you got to have stars. You got to have guys that can make some plays. So if you look at the roster, you kind of go back through it, and let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. Goff, I don't know if he's a star. I'm not going to put him in the star category, but I'd put Amon-Ra St. Brown. He is a star. This dude gets open, makes plays. Wait till you see him in his 3rd year. Can't wait to see that. I think Taylor Decker is a star on a star tackle. I think he's solid, rock solid. He's like in his 8th year. He is a star. Frank Ragnow is a star. Jonah Jackson, you could almost put in a star. So, I mean, right there's 3 or 4. Penei Sewell, absolute star that you saw coming from day one. Unlike Aline McNeil, like, who's Aline? What's he doing? Penei Sewell, it was like, yeah, this guy is incredible. Remember, we drafted him. He was 20 years old. He had opted out the season before, so he hadn't really played football. Last time he played football, he was 19 years old. Comes in, immediate, awesome. He's going left tackle, right tackle. So right on offense alone, we have 5 stars, and that's awesome. Defensive side, Aline McNeil, star. Aiden Hutchinson, star. Cameron Sutton, right there. CJ Gardner Johnson, star. Emmanuel Mosley, maybe not. So again, you have, and James Houston could be a star in the making with just even if he's just a third down specialist. So right there, you've got 5 to 10 potential stars on your team to partner with a good quarterback. And because the bar is so high at quarterback with like Patrick Mahomes, whatever, like Patrick Mahomes obviously is a star, but is Jared Goff there? No, but I mean, he is in the top third of the NFL for sure. So you've got a top third quarterback, you've got stars, and then again, I said, you need a few different things. You need depth. Check out the depth now in this roster. I mean, David Montgomery, Craig Reynolds. So you've got depth, you got stars. That's why everybody is excited, is because we haven't had this, and now we have an opportunity to really showcase what we're going to do against the Kansas City Chiefs, which we'll find out right away. Like, okay, yeah, we do have stars, or we're not quite there, and I really think we do, and I'm really excited about the path that we're on. And that's the best part, is we have Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, who, and this is something we don't talk about enough, they love it here. I mean, nobody has the feeling of like, yeah, these guys are just, looking to move on, or I don't know. No, they love working together. They love working with Sheila. And so we've got the hardest part done, and that is the leadership, the front office. The players, they just are, they're interchangeable, and that's what you're doing all the time. But man, can you get that top end of ownership and leadership in the front office? We haven't had that ever. And that's been the problem, is either we had a good coach, but the GM wasn't great, or GM was pretty good, but the coach wasn't quite there. And ownership was, that they've always been on separate pages since I've been watching the Lions. Now they're all on the same page. We're getting stars. We're drafting well. There's depth. Quarterback. We've got a quarterback in waiting now. Never had that. I don't know. We barely ever had a quarterback in Stafford. Took us forever to find Stafford after the Charlie Batch days and all that. Finally get Stafford. And then he's got, so we've never even had a quarterback until Stafford. Then now we have a quarterback in Goff. Now we have a quarterback in waiting. So let me know your thoughts in the comments on this. I'm just excited about the Lions, excited about the future of the franchise as a whole. And just remember, Craig and I are going to be going live for the Detroit Pistons. Remember, on this channel, we cover Lions and Pistons. Mostly Lions up to this point, just because Pistons have been terrible, but really good stuff coming from them, because they have a top 5 pick, a bunch of cap space, a great coach, and the draft is coming up here next Thursday. So make sure you tune into that. We will be live, have a lot of fun with that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll see all of you on the next one.